Hello, dear viewers. Welcome to the Environment Dialogue right here on UCTV, where we bring fresh voices and bold ideas on how we can have a sustainable Uganda. And today's discussion is quite interesting. We are going to be talking about how do we reduce plastic pollution right here in our country. We know that the government banned caveras and plastics not so long ago, but we still have them in existence, which is quite interesting. So we are going to tackle the different issues on why they are still being used and what are the different initiatives that are being done to control and adapt to the use of these plastics in our country. And joining me today in studio, I have two amazing people, and they are going to give us an introduction of who they are, what they do, and what are some of these initiatives, what are their thoughts in regard to the plastic pollution issue in our country today. We live with plastics every day. I mean, from caveras to bottles. We know that most of the drinks nowadays are being packed in bottles, exactly. We see most of the snacks being packed in caveras, and we don't have a good mechanism on how these can be dumped in the proper places. So as much as we have this in our hands, as much as we are living with these plastics, we still have an issue of how do we manage them? Where can they be disposed? How do we change the mentality of the people that eat and dump along the roadsides, along the trenches, in the different areas? So it's still an issue, and this is something that is choking our soils, choking our water bodies. And what are we going to live for tomorrow? We know the statistics of the way that plastics take long to, degrade in the soil, to compose. So what are the initiatives? And that's why I have these two people right here with me in studio. I'm going to give them a few minutes to introduce themselves. And over to you, the ladies first, as they say it.
But now we are emancipating the men, so why ladies first? The men can also go first.
Yeah.
But thank you for the opportunity. My name is Atuhaire, Baseka Patience, and I do a number of things. I'm a programs officer at the Guild President's Leadership Academy, but I also work with BRICS Environment and Climate Hub Initiative, also known as Environmental Hub Uganda. I also volunteer with the Climate Action Leadership Incubator, where we mentor young children, younger people, younger than I am, also still young, like the ones in primary and secondary school, about climate action, and the Environment Parliament, which is also going to happen on 5th September this year. That's roughly what I do, and I am a very, very passionate environmental advocate.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Over to you.
Good morning, our viewers. My name is Kizito, Godfrey Mutebi. I'm the ED and co-founder, Nature in Mind Youth Environment Initiative. I'm also a vice chairman, Uganda Youth and Environment Forum. At Nature in Mind, we are basically working in the circular economy, transforming plastic waste into reusable items. We have done a lot of initiatives that help in conserving our environment, but like today we are only talking about plastics. Thank you.
I'm glad that, with brilliant minds here, and I believe even the viewers are so excited to get to listen in from you. So just as I had mentioned earlier in the introduction, Uganda banned caveras a few years ago. We had certain people complying, they started using paper bags. You'd see supermarkets starting to, give eco-friendly packaging materials. But we still see them persistent in our community today. Why do you think that is so? And I'll begin with the gentleman, Mr. Kizito.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Moderator. Plastics have been a very big problem in our country for a very long time. And when you talk about the ban, I think the government has done its part of what it's supposed to do. But we have a huge problem, and I guess it's coming from the manufacturers themselves. The manufacturers are benefiting a lot from the plastic sales, And now we also have a problem, like the government also is generating revenue from the taxes. So I don't know whether we have lost the will to completely ban the plastics, or there are external forces that are playing at the back. So we are here at the forefront trying to do advocacy, and we have the ban is here already, but now we don't see anything. The law enforcement itself is a problem. So what do? We still have to do our work as environmentalists, as we support what the government has already put in place, but we still have to have a lot of engagements with the key players so that we can see that this ban is effective.
You've mentioned revenue, you've mentioned the key stakeholders in this game, and policies. Those are some of the issues I think we have also as a country in general, that policies are formulated by you people, the passionate environmentalists and climate advocates, but enforcement is still an issue. And thank you for that perspective. I would like Patience to also tell us what is her perspective on this ban. Why do we still have caveras even after being banned in the country?
It's funny how first of all, Uganda is the only East African country that is still having a huge plastic burden. And yet we were like the first East African country to also start the plastic ban. Like we said, like around 2007, we've had like 5 bans in there, like 2007, 18, 19, around 2021, like we keep doing it. And at the start, it was more like an East African community initiative. So that's how Rwanda, Tanzania, and Kenya all came on board to do it. And we started so well. I don't know if you could remember at the time we were a little bit younger than 7, 8, 9 there. The Kavera ban was becoming serious. The government put in a lot of money for sensitization in the public. In fact, people were adapting. Like, people were carrying bottles at the shops where they sell butunda, the one of 500, 1,000. They were starting to bring glasses and all that.
I remember even that time, that's the time I think you would buy a bottle of soda in a glass bottle and pay 2,000 and take back the bottle and come back with the... your 1,000. We were
having that transformation right from down, because people were complaining because the ban was happening, but they were adjusting because yes, you know what we need is the ban, and then we stick to it. But what feels like the problem is that not that we've not banned, we've banned before. It's just that as the ban happens, there are lots of loopholes in the whole process. Starting with the fact that we keep having struggles with this ban because of the political will. I will be honest, I'm not trying to be political, but when I talk about the political will, it's just that we keep on welcoming investors. Actually, the Uganda Manufacturers Association has about 47 registered industries for plastic, like for Kavera.
And they're still increasing.
Exactly. So by the time we are allowing them to register, now remember there are those that are also not registered. Now, by the time we are allowing them to register, these are the people that usually, most of the times, it's not, these things are not owned by Ugandans. They come in as investors. What are you going to invest in? I am going to invest in Kavera. We allow. After allowing them invest in Kavera, because we say, yeah, it's bringing in revenue, it's employing the people, after allowing them to do that, you know how we had, during the bans, we kept on emphasizing that we are only okay with plastic beyond 30 microns. Why are we allowing the 30 microns? Because yes, at that moment of the ban, the manufacturers will abide by that. Eventually, they begin just increasing, they begin producing just slightly thick Kavera, not even reaching the regulations, because at that moment, when the moment of the ban, you know, the checks are very serious and all that. As time goes on, they just make slightly thick just to disguise as what exactly is needed. So the easiest way we need to do is that if it is the ban, let it be the ban. Let us say no to single-use Kavera and all that. That in a way that it's and also I emphasize about the political will, but it's also not the only problem. The other problem is we the people are not willing. We are not willing to adjust. Like every single time, you know, you're going to maybe take juice or something, but every single time, oh, you're going to the shop, you're going to the market, but you keep on going with your wallet just swinging your hands because you know the lady that is selling me tomatoes and everything will give me a kavera. Like, how hard is it for you to buy a basket or to get those reusable bags, fold it, put it in another bag, look, you still look smart and sleek and no one will say anything. I mean, personally, I've grown up in a home where we use bisero, like kasero. Yeah, in fact, people in the community know us for that. Like, they know those kids do not carry buvera, they carry kasero, the bisero. Like, we've now going to have a number of them. And we use it over and over again, year in, year out. These are things that we need, like, so the problems, it's just the political will. We seem, somehow we seem willing with it. Like, even with the policies we have, we seem willing with it, but then the people are not willing to adjust. When the schools or certain communities ban kavera and schools say, parents don't come with buvera, pack for your children, the parents will complain, the parents will look for ways of sneaking it in. Yet, these are the small changes that we need. In
fact, on that point of parents, you've mentioned that the parents will complain, but the parents are just part of a larger community that's out there complaining. And where there is a challenge, there is an opportunity.
Exactly.
You've really mentioned something about banning and the government insisting on the companies having a minimum of 30 microns and stuff like that. But there is still the big challenge that as much as it is a challenge to us, the people, and the community at large, people are getting employed from such businesses. I want us now to imagine in a case scenario of a lady that is depending on those kaveras to supply to her clients. Because I'll give you a practical example. I one time went to the shop and I said, I'm not taking the kavera. I said I'll hold my things in my hands. And the lady insisted that nzenja kuwa kavera. In other words, I'll give you the kavera because they consider it not proper for someone to leave their shop with
things in their hands.
And they do not have alternative packaging.
That's the issue.
Those are some of the mentalities that we are trying to deal with. And how would you convince a boda guy, a market seller, a shopkeeper, a supermarket that has been using kaveras for this long? Why do you think, how would you talk to them to understand the magnitude of the problem, Mr. Kizito?
Okay, thank you. The problem of plastics, like usage, these single-use plastics are the most problematic ones. Now, we have people that have come with initiatives, especially youths that are doing, have made the reusable bags, the ones that are making these paper bags. And now it seems like the paper bags tend to be a little expensive in production and
compared to the
kaveras that are less pricey. So now what becomes a challenge is that now we need a lot of these initiatives to be supported, and the big players in the plastics industry tend to like want to like downplay these people.
And the fact that the plastic kavera, the plastic manufacturers are the investors that are given tax holidays, so they are operating from a point they're operating from a point of their costs, that the costs they incur, production costs are less than, so they are able to supply at a lower cost, unlike the innovators and the young people doing things.
So whereby you even request for that grant to push your idea,
you get,
but it doesn't come out.
Now, there's an organization that I know of, it's called Nature's Love Packaging. Those people are doing great. They have their good innovations. They have been in these spaces for a lot of time, and their only problem is they can never find a true funder for what they do.
What do they do?
Because they are making paper packaging, and now when they reach out to like these people that are in line with the plastics production and try to give them their ideas, they don't support them, because they know at the end of the day when these things like become many, they won't have market to sell their products. So now you find that these youth initiatives, they will never ripen. They will always be just stale like that. That's what is happening right now. So if we had a chance of, like the government can try to look into these youth groups that have come up with ideas, because they are the ones that have the right vision for their country's future. Try to uplift them, support them. There are many government agencies there that we look up to, and you find that when you keep on being bounced from here to there, you get, so it becomes a problem. We have real innovators here in this country that can solve our local problems. We have solutions that we already have right now. We have groups, many of them, that have come up with very, very beautiful ideas, but they are not being supported. We are looking for solutions out there from the international community, yet we do have our local solutions. Why do you think we are not progressing in the fight against plastics? Because we don't look into the local solutions. We are looking at the bigger picture, which is not going to be a solution at the moment.
And which solutions that side are not tailored to our exact problems.
Exactly. So that is how it is. And if we need like to shift, we need, first of all, mindset change is very important. Ugandans have a tendency of like littering everything in one basket. You find plastics, you find
the biodegradable waste.
Yeah, we do not know anything about sorting and separation.
The problem of understanding waste segregation, it's still a huge challenge, because we are working in grassroots, we have always found that problem. People don't tend to understand that sorting, if you're working in the circular economy, there is completely no waste, because everything that you think is wrong or is wasted has somebody who uses it in the circular economy. For example, we use plastics. Somebody else needs the organic waste. Somebody else needs glass. We just need to like sort the waste
and let each part be used by whoever needs it the right way.
So waste is just something placed in the wrong, you find it in the wrong place, but it's useful to somebody else.
So there is no waste. Yeah.
Actually, there is
no waste is waste.
Because when you like, for example, you go and buy a beautiful shirt somewhere, you wear it, and then at some point you feel like you don't need it, but it still has its buttons. It's still like in good shape, but you might look at it as something that is useless. Now, that's why you find this clothing in Owino market, because those people have thrown them, and now for us, to them it's waste.
What is old to them is new to us.
Yeah, actually that kind of clothing is in the circular economy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there in Europe, it has been dumped. Here in Uganda,
it is gold.
It's gold.
At a good price.
So we need to like involve ourselves and promote more of the circular economy in order to solve some of these problems. Because now you look at plastics as something useless, but there's somebody out there who is making bricks out of it.
Yeah.
You get.
And in fact, speaking on the issue of mindset, I want you patience right now to imagine the tomato seller that is watching us on screen.
Yes.
Mama Nakanjako in Nakasongola is watching this show. How would you convince her? How would you talk to her about the magnitude of this problem? Because you mentioned earlier that in the earlier years, the government invested in sensitization, which is, I think, a very important thing to do. Because the people we are talking to, especially nowadays, they do not understand the problem at hand. And people are getting biased with the issue of climate change. Yeah? You tell them
you just want money.
Yes, Vakukavera, we have seen the Uganda Kingdom having an environment week. They have cleanups there. Now there is going to be another cleanup at Gaba for the second time. And all these initiatives, that's just to mention but a few. But these people, I think, do not get to understand why. And not until you know the magnitude of the problem you're dealing with is when you stand up to get a solution.
Yeah.
So what do you think Mama Nakanjako should know is the problem about plastics? How do plastics affect her?
Well, I like that question. I have a lot to say about it. I don't even know where to start. So we have the plastic problem. It is a constant, but somehow we barely say nothing about it until towards June, around World Environment Day. Like, anyone can agree with me, like, that is literally the trend. Like, I'm only being honest, like, call a spade, and not a big spoon. And okay, that's a fact that not many people are taking this serious. So, and also you realize that many times we are talking about sensitization. It is happening in small doses, but even the sensitization that is happening in small doses, those that are doing it so well are doing it out of their own goodwill and do not have enough financial muscle to support what they are doing. But yes, these young people are understanding what needs to be done, but sometimes they don't even have transport or the resources to convince the people. The people have this mindset of, yeah, we are coming to teach us whatever you're teaching us. Are you giving us money? Are you giving us transport refund? So how are we going to teach you how you're going to handle what you have if we are not giving you the money? Because we don't have it.
Correct.
But we know the knowledge and we know how exactly you can handle these things. And then you talk about whoever is in whichever village or whichever place.
Mama
Yes, Mama Nakanjako. I don't even know whether I should speak in Uganda. But the thing is, now before we actually come to Mama Nakanjako either has a child or a grandchild that they stay with or that is in their neighborhood. Personally, I am now fully convinced that children are the best messengers or the best people that you can send around for change. That I've been to a school before, just for example, I've been to a school before and I was with someone, she was a pregnant lady, then she picks a mango from the tree. And then a younger child from like P3 comes and is like, excuse me, madam, you're not supposed to pick raw fruits from that tree. and this person has not picked anything without permission ever again. Like, it was just something that changed. Now we have so many.
Tell the person the mango is dirty. First, go wash it.
Exactly. Now that's just an example. So if we keep teaching these younger children about what exactly is to be done, even when the parent is biased about whatever it is, the child will keep on telling, Mommy, we're not supposed to be using Kavera. We should use the other bag. Mommy, I will not take a plastic bottle to school. I need a water bottle. Mommy, Daddy, now that is already one thing. Like, that will change. I remember Uganda's biggest population is those young people. So once they are fully convinced about it all, even their homes are going to be transformed. That when this child keeps on going with their parent to the market or wherever, Mommy, where are we parking in Kavera? Mommy, like, this is the first change. And then when it comes to like now, Mama Nakanjako is using Kavera because a circuit, a big pack is like 1,500, 1,800 and it has like 50 bags. Yeah. So it is easier for her to use those. But now, first of all, when change comes, people will complain, they will resist it. But once they have no other option, they have to do it. Now, first of all, when Kavera becomes scarce or more expensive, everyone in the market, the chairperson and everyone will begin announcing to people around the village, please carry this and this while coming to the market. We shall not be doing this anymore. They will have made life for Mama Nakanjako easier. That she's not seeing the Kavera to buy it anywhere, so she's not going to buy it to pack it for you. The people are being told to carry what they need. As simple as that. Like, there are simple things we need to do in our communities, and things are changed. Like, generally, that's all.
Indeed, and it starts with you, the person you mentioned about the young people being the majority in the country, and those are the change makers. We had the Green Festival happen not so long ago, and these are agents of change. Every single child that represented there, I believe, is a representative of a green environment in their community back then. And we are still here on the Environment Dialogue, UCTV, with your host Samantha Kkungu, and we're going to go for a short break, so that we come back when the jazz is still spicy and good.
UCTV, good news for all. tiene que soñar.
Hello and welcome to UCTV. Welcome to Connect with Mary.
You're the Alpha and the Omega.
The Catholic television. I'm Sunday Gloria Watch with UCTV News.
We need people to pay for content.
Bernardo Silva, Matheus Nunes, and Haaland!
Swings it across to Christie.
UCTV. Good news for all.
Are you 18 to 35 years old? Live your life to the fullest with the Center Evolution Youth Savings Account. With the Center Evolution Youth Savings Account, you get a free ATM card, no monthly charges, free bank drafts for school fees payments, and attractive interests. And that's not all. Enjoy access to financial literacy, entrepreneurship opportunities, and bank loans. Opening the Center Evolution Youth Savings Account is your ticket to a brighter future. For more information, please visit any of the nearest branches today or call our toll-free line 0800 200 555 or 0800 335 344.
Centenary Bank.
Kuleza Farm with Centenary Bank, agribusiness solar loan of up to 50 million shillings for a solar-powered irrigation system on your farm. Enjoy a grace period tailored to your cash flows and loan offer amounts from 100,000 up to 50 million Uganda shillings with flexible loan periods up to 60 months. Apply for a Centenary Bank agribusiness solar loan through our branches, agents, and enjoy a fixed interest rate of just 1.7% per month. Kuleza Farm with Centenary Bank agribusiness solar loan today and watch your farming dreams come to life. Visit any of our nearest branch today or call our toll-free line 0800 200 555 or 0800 335 344.
Centenary Bank.
Centenary Bank is a member of the Center Group regulated by Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits of up to 10 million shillings are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda. Terms and conditions apply. Kuleza Farm with Centenary Bank, agribusiness solar loan of up to 50 million shillings for a solar-powered irrigation system on your farm. Enjoy a grace period tailored to your cash flows and loan offer amounts from 100,000 up to 50 million Uganda shillings with flexible loan periods up to 60 months. Apply for a Centenary Bank agribusiness solar loan through our branches, agents, and enjoy a fixed interest rate of just 1.7% per month. Kuleza Farm with Centenary Bank agribusiness solar loan today and watch your farming dreams come to life. Visit any of our nearest branch today or call our toll-free line 0800 200 555 or 0800 335 344.
Centenary Bank.
Centenary Bank is a member of the Center Group regulated by Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits of up to 10 million shillings are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello and welcome back to Connect with Mary on the Uganda Catholic Television. Good news for all.
Today, like I told you earlier, we are going to talk about the 7 sorrows of Mary.
You know, for me, the strength of Mary, I think, we are looking at Mary as a symbol of strength and resilience.
When Simeon saw Jesus, because the angel had, God had revealed to him that he will not die until he sees.
If it was not the woman, the mother of Jesus.
Support the Uganda Catholic Television with MTN Momo. Step 1. Dial *165*3#. Step 2. Enter merchant code 180572. Step 3. Enter any amount from 500 Uganda shillings. Step 4. Pay using MTN mobile money. Step 5. Enter PIN code and send. Step 6. You will receive a confirmation text for supporting the Uganda Catholic Television.
Do more with Center Mobile app. Move with your bank and pay water bills, school fees, pay light, withdraw or deposit money, pay for DSTV or GoTV, pay for Star Times, open app accounts, get loans, and so much more. Download the Center Mobile app on Google Play Store or App Store now. For more information, call our toll-free line or chat with us on WhatsApp. Centenary Bank. Centenary Bank is a member of the Center Group regulated by Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits of up to 10 million shillings are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda.
UCTV. Good news for all.
Welcome back, dear viewers, from that very short break. We are still here on the Environment Dialogue, right here on UCTV, where we are unpacking the different issues that are affecting our country. And today, we are discussing how do we reduce plastics in Uganda today. We have different examples of countries out there that have had a plastic-free environment. As Mr. Kizito mentioned earlier, they are maximizing the whole bit of the circular economy. And why are we still lagging behind? We are here to understand what ways forward. Can we have a plastic-free Uganda? How can we make Uganda more sustainable? I'm still here in studio with Miss Baseka Patience and Mr. Kizito right here unpacking this discussion and this topic. And before we left for the break, we were talking about the different challenges that the country is facing in regard to plastic pollution. But I want us to now expound more. Could you please tell us, Mr. Kizito, what are those challenges that directly affect a Ugandan out there in regard to plastic pollution?
Thank you so much. The problem that is affecting the ordinary Ugandan in regard to plastic pollution, there are many. But first of all, we are going to talk about the direct implications of plastics. First of all, we have the environmental challenge. That is for everyone. When we talk about the individual Ugandan, we are looking at especially women and children being affected by, you see, like in the morning when somebody is lighting a charcoal stove, most of them use these plastics, which is very hazardous waste. We have toxins that come from that plastic, because you very well know that these are petroleum products and they have those chemicals in them that affect our bodies. We keep on telling people about this problem, but it seems like people don't understand it. But the moment you visit the Cancer Institute at Mulago, you'll find a lot of cancer cases that
linked to plastic.
They are linked to plastic, and especially the women that are now cooking using the plastics, because we see a lot of food vendors, they use plastics to cook. Now imagine putting matoke in a plastic and then putting it on fire. And then you expect somebody to ingest that food and be well.
And the kavera is used more than once.
You find that this is a very, very big problem.
Sad truth.
Like for me, when I'm traveling, I cannot ever eat in a hotel, or I don't eat matoke there. I can eat maybe rice. Posho also sometimes they put it in the plastics. And so when you're not sure of what you're going to eat out there, please look out for what they're using to cook. Because now this is a very serious problem and not anybody knows about it. And even some people look at it and they say, it's not a problem. They don't understand it.
It's not my business.
So we need people like Atuhaire, they are the ones in advocacy, to hit on that point, because it's a very serious problem in our country and we need to find ways of stopping this problem. One of the days I went to one of the town councils and I was like, how do you guys, I visited the health department and I was like asking them about how they're trying to curb that problem. And the lady told me, now this one, it's about somebody changing their mind, because we can go there today and we pour down their food and the next morning you'll find them doing it again.
Back.
You come and say, stop using this, and the next morning they are doing it again. I don't know whether we should blame the current economic crisis or whatever, but I think that cannot be a problem. These banana leaves have been being used for a long time, and I don't think they're that expensive. When we are in this,
a banana leaf is either 100 shillings or 200 shillings.
Yeah, but when you compare, like, okay, a plastic can
is
be
also
cheap.
100.
Akavera is also 100.
100, 300.
So what is
and
the
banana
problem?
leaves are
Why don't we
reusable too.
shift? Yeah, they just wash them and reuse them again. So
that's the same way they wash the Akavera.
Organic, using organic things, the natural things, we won't find these problems popping up all the time. So we need to like constantly advocate for banning the plastics, especially the single-use plastics, because if they're not there, people will find alternatives of cooking. Like here in Uganda, men have a problem of saying, me, I don't eat food that has not been prepared in those banana leaves.
Yes.
So they should pressure their women to focus on that. I think that can be also a good approach.
Who do not like cooking.
Yeah.
No, but also, I mean, for the woman that does not want to cook, because I mean, your nails and whatsoever, we are having greener solutions. Steamers that you can find a steamer that is using very little electricity that can cook your matoke, cook the sauce, everything at once. In 30-40 minutes, you are done. We have all those solutions. So
but we don't look into those solutions. We are just thinking, just looking at things in the ordinary way. You cannot find somebody like somebody in a hotel preparing food in a plastic and you don't even say something.
Why are you eating it?
You don't. You must talk about it. As a Ugandan, you must talk about it. For example, I usually see, and it's on a wide scale, these ladies that are preparing chips on the streets. They have these scooping baskets. They are plastic.
Yeah.
And then they're just scooping from the cooking oil as hot as it is. Remember,
to my fellows in Banda, please, I hope you're watching this.
Chikumi.
Chikoni.
It's a huge problem. You can find those metallic mesh that you can use, but not these plastic ones that you can put in the oil. And remember, as the plastic melts, it leaves the plastics, the microplastics in the food that we're going to ingest. So we should really like try to advocate for those.
And in fact, yes. And in fact, you're hinting on a very, very, very important note, that the fact that the use of these plastics is so common and some of us do not even understand how they directly affect us. And clearly it hints all to health. Miss Baseka, please tell us, how do you think these plastics affect our health?
Well, there was a time you know how we all have, okay, I will not say we all because it's not a general thing, but for people that have smartphones, once you have internet, you keep on seeing different notifications for maybe Phoenix or Google or wherever about blogs and news about what is happening. And so one time I tapped this blog and it is explaining about a research that discovered a bit of microplastics in breast milk.
Wow.
Which is a sad thing, a very, very sad thing. So now
very
imagine,
serious.
In breast milk. So which means the baby, yes, breast milk is the best food for children especially below 6 months. In fact, doctors advise that the child should be fed on breast milk, only breast milk until 6 months. Then they begin weaning and then up to like 2-3 years. But now you can see that we are having these issues in very small doses. That, actually talking about breast milk, that part of even the women that maybe pump breast milk are putting it in plastic and all that, and maybe the babies are being fed, and yes, it is sterilization, we say, but it's sterilization of the breast, of the bottles, of the feeding bottles. Not many parents are able to check the quality of the bottles they are buying. I mean, njagala nywanto, I will go, njaga, yabiri, mpako kulukumi mubitano. And then they will actually look for, so the seller is going to sell them whatever they can at the money they have, but they do not know the basics, or they do not know the details of whatever they are buying. And as the child is being fed, washed, then they will soak the feeding bottle in hot water. Like I'm just showing you right from where the start of all these things, that we are burning, like you will see that, yeah, like he talked about lighting charcoal stoves or fire with plastic. And then you've gone to maybe like those, you've gone to like a public primary school, and these kids, actually now start with the plastic cups, but also the kid has no cup, so he will get a water bottle, like it maybe had that water for 500, or a bottle that had soda, run to the line, get porridge and drink. So there are small doses that we are taking into our bodies. And if you try to look at the statistics, you're going to realize the numbers of the cancers keep increasing. Breast cancer, lung cancer, because of the many things we are inhaling, the chemicals we are inhaling as we are burning, and it's just too much. I mean, our skins themselves are testing positive for microplastics, because even the Vaselines we are using and everything, like the alternatives seem more expensive, but
the long-term implications in treating yourself.
I'm actually excited every time I see the companies, the times we'll be having maybe events, and then maybe I'm very excited when I do not see them putting for us bottles on the tables and they're telling you, go pick your water from there. There is a dispenser, or those glass bottles. Like, they seem expensive and a lot of hard work, but in the long run, if many of us adopted these smaller solutions, then it is way better. And it's not just about the cancers. Research is still ongoing. And actually now that reminds me of the fact that we need, as Ugandans, we need to invest ourselves more into research, into understanding these problems ourselves. That as we cry, yes, we're going to cry that there is no funding in this, we need help and all that, but we need to understand the problems directly, about not just about plastic, but about everything. And that's how we can best solve our problems. Yeah.
Yes, it's affecting our health. You're going to invest a lot in treating cancer because you couldn't buy a glass of 5K and you wanted a bottle of Bitano. So thank you for shedding more light on that. And what can we say to the people in charge? Because the government banned caveras, as I say again, years ago. It keeps burning. It's now more like a thing. Tuzijeo zikomeo, tuzijeo zikomeo. Exactly. And the enforcement is clearly weak in that regard, because if they were serious about the enforcement of that policy and that law, we would have no plastics, or would have reduced plastics, or would have smarter ways of reusing and recycling these plastics. So how can we convince the government? What solutions? You as the young people, because I believe we are talking with young people right here.
Yes, we are young.
Exactly. What are those solutions that the government needs to invest in, that the government needs to get to know about? What are those policies that need to be reformed?
I'm finalizing a policy brief about waste management, the waste management crisis in Kampala. And as I was doing my research, I realized that in Uganda, generally, we produce more than 200,000 tons of plastic, specifically plastic waste per year. And out of all this, around 40,000 tons are burnt in communities, and also less than 50% of the waste of the plastic that is generated is collected, less than half of it. And even what is collected, you've seen those vehicles that are collecting rubbish, that yes, they will somehow pour a bit of it. Some of it will just somehow fall on the road or something as they are moving. So it was collected, but now it is now staying behind. And so you realize one problem leads to another and another and another. That our problem is not just, our problem is plastic, yes. But the problem goes beyond plastic and looking generally at our waste management. Because when we talk about waste, we are talking about the plastic, and also there is also organic waste. And he mentioned that there is no waste that is waste. We need to go back to the basics, like waste segregation and separation. Do people know these things? No, they do not. And even if they do, you will realize that yes, every year KCCA will put different bins, will buy new bins and put them wherever. But as they put them wherever, you're going to see the red bin and the green bin only. Where is the yellow bin? Do people even understand that this is supposed to go here, and these are the basics that we need to go to? That yes, we need the ban. The ultimate solution is the ban. How are we implementing the ban? Let's close the loopholes. The enforcement is happening. How is it happening? Like,
who are those in charge?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Who are those in charge? You are sending officers to go and check things, to go and do whatever they are doing, but you've not prepared them. Yes, now, we will go back to the initial problem of, so that I go back to the issue that we need the ban. How the ban is done is what really matters. That we're going to keep on having the excuses of the investors did their thing, they put in their money, you've given them tax holidays. Prepare them. That where change is needed, a transition is needed. That yes, you've been producing this and this and this. Prepare them in advance that stop producing this, transition to this. These solutions are there. If you think the solutions that are on ground are not really convincing or not what exactly we need, we have people that are specializing in this. And that also takes me back to where we are having a lot of repatriation happening, that we are having professionals, people are learning things and going elsewhere. Let's utilize the people we have to make our own solutions. University students are always with innovations that are not going anywhere, that are not being supported. Now, this is where we can find the ultimate solution for all these things that the manufacturers are opting for different things. And when the things are not, the plastic is not being seen on market, people change.
Very true. And on that very point, Mr. Kizito, what are those innovative solutions? What are those alternatives that the government should think about doing in regard to this issue? Even if it's the young people, what can they do to stand against plastic pollution?
Thank you so much, Samantha. There are a lot of things young people are doing. For example, first of all, I'll talk about my organization, Nature in Mind. We have a collaboration with Buganda Kingdom. During the Buganda Water and Environment Week, we launched the Akachupa Nazo Center project. This project is aimed at empowering young people, especially now like those waste pickers. They have done a great service to this nation. You see, like one of the days I read, is it a meme? I read it from the NEMA's director. And it was very intriguing. He was saying, we people that are learned, when we are in our cars, driving around after drinking something, we throw it outside the car, outside the window. Then now, you are the very people that keep advocating for controlled litter, waste segregation, all those beautiful words. But when you're driving, you're throwing outside of your window. And then this person that has never gone to school is the one that is going to come and pick it out for you. You get that? It's very, very funny why it's like that. The people that we expect to be like at the forefront of controlling this problem are the ones that are actually contributing
to the problem
So now,
itself.
We have this project with Buganda Kingdom that is aimed at empowering young people, especially now like those waste pickers, training them what to, like upcycling waste into reusable products and finding market for those products. Look at a community like, say, the ones that live around the shores of Lake Victoria. There are a lot of plastics that come from the drainages.
Yeah.
And they always pick those plastics. They are selling those plastics like at 500 shillings a kilogram.
Wow, that's
exactly. That's very little. And
very little.
They walk very long distances
to just get that 1 kilogram.
You
of
find
plastics.
that one person can walk like about 5 kilometers to find just 1 kilogram. And now,
sad.
We as Nature in Mind innovated in that area. So instead of selling the kilogram for 500 shillings, you can at least make a lampshade out of those plastics and sell it for maybe 30,000.
That's better, and it is using less than the kilogram that you...
Exactly. So now you
but also better alternatives from the young people themselves.
So we are looking at alternatives like those in our transition. Of course, we are small players in the industry, but at least if we can like expound on what we do, get it known all over, I think we can really create an impact.
Indeed, the power lies in the young people, in the innovative minds like you, Mr. Kizito, and Miss Baseka Patience, because all together we have the power to change and create a plastic smart Uganda. So in just one word, in just a few minutes, I'm going to request each one of you to give the viewers out there just one word, a takeaway, one word.
How is one word, one word? Like, a sentence is made of many words, but
okay, one sentence.
I can say it starts with you. I move with a 2-liter bottle because I need 2 liters of water. Do the small things, and that's how we shall change things. Only small things, and they will eventually compound.
More than one sentence, but thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Kizito, one sentence.
Wonderful. I always advise that when you're at home there and you decide that today I'm not going to use a plastic, you stick to it, and then don't think about who else is doing that. Just you yourself. You're the one who is supposed to do it, and it starts with you. Everyone else will follow.
Yes, thank you very much. So thank you, Mr. Kizito. Thank you, Ms. Baseka Patience, for this amazing conversation. I believe the viewers out there have had something to pick, because my one statement that I would say to the government right now is that listen to the voices of the young people. They have something to say. And just right now, we've unpacked various problems that are various things that are contributing to the plastic pollution problem in Uganda. And there are several solutions to that. I remain Samantha Kkungu, your host for today, and we shall catch up on the next episode of the Environment Dialogue right here on UCTV. Stay tuned.
UCTV, good news for all.